What's up guys, doing with VocaRose, and today I want to try something a little new. Since Kill la Kill If comes out in about 2 weeks, I have been, really avoiding spoilers of the game, and all I really know of the story mode, which, spoiler alert to you guys, is that at the beginning, well basically I know everything that happens in the first chapter, and then I know that there's 2 stories, that's Satsuki and Ryuko. So I was wondering, how exactly do we go from one to the other? Could it be that it's the same story but from a different perspective? But then I started to think, what if it's the same story but taken from Satsuki's role to Ryuko's? As in, the story starts off as Satsuki, but it concludes with Ryuko. So that's what we kind of wanted to talk about today. So let's get into it. So first off, I would like to say once again, spoiler alerts in some pieces probably. No, I know nothing about this story mode besides what I already said. I refuse to look at anything, I don't want to hear anything in the comments. No spoilers guys, spoiler free team here. With that being said, maybe if you guys want to give me your ideas of what could happen in the story mode, you can do that down below too. But without further ado, what I kind of think will happen in chapter 1, you fight as Satsuki and you beat Ryuko in the tutorial. Ryuko leaves, right? So for this, we're gonna just say Ryuko just gone, and she probably doesn't come back. So with that, you do the whole story, and it's more of like, it's time, and it's inching near and near closer to beating Ragyo. It's time to get closer to defeating her. It's time for us to really settle down on this plan that Satsuki has, and even though we don't have Ryuko, we need to handle it in another way. Stuff goes on. You basically fight a lot of covers, and then it comes to the fact where you're playing the Elite Four to fight covers, you're playing Satsuki, or you're just seeing cutscenes of the Elite Four, because they want to really focus Satsuki in this first story. So with that, you just deal with them covers for a little while before, Nui shows up and she's like, oh, I see you're having a little fun. Mind if I step in? And you either fight Nui, or you just say, stay out of my business, like, Satsuki's usually doing with Nui, just stay out of my business, or you will have to handle me. So it gets to that point. Further fighting goes, which I can't even think of what they could fight, but it gets to that nearing the end of Satsuki's story, right? And I'm gonna say probably Ragyo could hypnotize the Elite Four, control them in some type of way. So now you have to fight each one of the Elite Four in whatever order they're gonna do. After you beat the Elite Four, the cutscene will pop up, and remember, all predictions. A cutscene will pop up, and it's like Satsuki's winning, but she realizes, I can beat the Elite Four, but together they're just too powerful. And then they just start showing each one, Nono and Gamma, Sanageyama and Inumucha, just starting to gang up on her, and starting to actually hit her from all sides and damage her and gang up on her, until finally Ragyo or Nui's just like, stop. There's someone else I want to have a little crack at this. From behind whoever that is, Ryuko shows up, hypnotized. Satsuki is just like, oh come on man, I just fought the Elite Four, there's no way. So with a hypnotized Ryuko fighting Satsuki, it's more of that, it's kind of supposed to be drawish, but in the end Ryuko's supposed to come closer to winning. It gets to that point where, Ryuko just has Satsuki on the ropes. Just cannot win this at this point. Satsuki only knowing how to use her blade. So it gets to, okay, my resolve isn't working, but I need to fulfill my ambitions. I have to do this. Satsuki finally activates her ultimate form, which I forgot what it was called or even if they named it yet. She activates her ultimate form. She blows past Ryuko and she blows past the Elite Four, knocking them all out or whatever. She goes straight to Ragyo and she's like, let's finish this. You fight Ragyo, and for this we can say you like temporarily beat Nui into submission. So you fight Ragyo, and probably you fight Ragyo in space like Ryuko did. And then just when the fight's about to be over and it was gonna end like Ryuko beat Ragyo, blood just splatters. Ragyo turns around and who does she see? She sees Nui. And she's like, oh, I mean, you did a good job, Ragyo, but I'm not gonna be under you anymore. I'm taking center stage now. Sorry. So Nui kills Ragyo. So no more Ragyo. And then she turns to Satsuki. Satsuki is like itching to fight, itching to go, but Nui now has, like, she confirms, oh, I knew you were gonna get this all along, and I just knew you were gonna be this powerful. I set this all up. Turns out Nui either is as strong as Ragyo or is as smart as Ragyo. You either fight Nui in this or it's a cutscene. And it gets to the point where Nui's just like, I killed your father, I killed your mother, I'm gonna kill your sister, but first let me get rid of you. Nui slashes down Satsuki, and then that's the end of Satsuki's story. You just see her get cut, or just whatever, going back down to Earth. We're going to Ryuko's now. For Ryuko, the last thing we'll probably go to is the unconscious, or we'll go back as a flashback to when... Actually, no, here's what I think. Ryuko will wake up from being knocked unconscious, she won't remember a thing, the Elite Four will be gone, in search of Satsuki, because they don't know if she's dead or she's alive. So they'll go hunt her down. Ryuko will wake up, first thing she'll see, Nui. Nui will be like, I see you're in desperate situations and you're in dire straits. You really want to beat Satsuki. I can help you with that. And Ryuko and Senkiss are just like, well, we have no other choice. At this point, we've tried everything, and every time we try something, it doesn't work out. So, what Nui says is probably something like, you really want to find out who you killed your dad? I'm gonna help you find out. I'm gonna help you get there. Ryuko and Nui fight all the covers, and then she slowly builds her way up, because now she has to fight the Elite Four. The Elite Four who are still searching for Satsuki, realize Ryuko defected. We have to beat her, we have to snap her out of it. And here I would think it would be cool if we had, like, instead of covers, we'd have students and we'd fight through this, like, a herd of students for a little while, building up to each Elite Four, and we could fight them either in order or out of order, I don't know. So it would get to, you finally beat the Elite Four. Nui's amused, and she's like, okay, no one else is standing in our way, but we cannot kill the Elite Four, so I don't think they're dead in this. We beat each of the Elite Four. Now let's go find Satsuki. There's no one else in our way. The two go hunting for Satsuki, and it gets to that point where they just can't find her. They just get frustrated. So once again the Elite Four show up, and they're like, we're really not gonna let you hurt Satsuki. And it's a cutscene now, because you already fought the Elite Four. Ryuko tries to fight them, but she gets tired, because now they're trying to jump her like they did unconsciously against Satsuki, which, you know, greatly amuses Nui, but she quickly cuts Ryuko, like, no more. The Elite Four are confused, like, you just helped her and you tried to, you know, help her beat Satsuki, and now you're attacking her? Nui cuts them all down. So here we are back in square one. Nui still has all this power. Ryuko just got led nowhere but weakening the Elite Four, and the Elite Four basically played in Nui's hands and weakening Ryuko. Ryuko sits up. She's frustrated. She feels betrayed, and it's now like, I don't know, I really have to beat this girl now and Satsuki, and the Elite Four refuse to allow such until a battered and bruised freaking Satsuki comes in, and she's just like, I know you don't want to work with me, but she's the bigger enemy right now. She's the bigger focus. If we can't beat her, you'll never beat me. And if we cannot beat her, the world is doomed. Neither one of them wants the world to be like, screwed. So the Elite Four, Ryuko and Satsuki are now a team. Nui is still plotting, getting stronger, all that in the corners. So now we have to go back to summoning all those covers. But because of those fights with the Elite Four that Ryuko experienced, now Nui has data on Ryuko and the Elite Four. And presumably Satsuki, since she watched those fights as well. So now, you're not only fighting covers, but you're fighting clones of each character. You beat them, and you once again find Nui. Nui's satisfied with the results of each. But for going back one more time, for the covers or the clones, I would say it would be cool if, you'd have each character fight someone that was like in a bond with them, or if not, the same character. But going back to where I was, Nui would be like, good job, you guys beat the clones, but you still can't beat me. So, what I would say here, I think we would need to have either the clones reappear one more time, or more covers. And it would have a large-scale fight, Nonon fighting, Gamma fighting, everyone fighting. And then, once again, defeated. So Nui's still there, and she points at Satsuki. She turns to Ryuko. You did good to make it this far. But the reason I attacked you was because I thought you were about to betray me. I don't want to destroy the world. In fact, she wants to destroy the world. Hell, she destroyed your family. Your mother, your father, killed by Satsuki Kiryu. Obviously, you're gonna know off the bat, Ryuko's pissed. Now she's like, I found the one who killed my dad. So Ryuko immediately, for some reason, loses focus on Nui, turns her attention to Satsuki, and they start fighting again. But the point of this isn't to kill either character now, it's to weaken both of them. They fight, and now they're both exhausted. It's not that Satsuki loses, it's not that Ryuko loses, it's kind of that draw stalemate to where they're both tired. Satsuki comes to that conclusion, I cannot beat her like this. I have to use that ultimate form again that I haven't used since the Ragyo stuff. But right then, Nui once again just comes in laughing, clapping. Good job, Ryuko. But fortunately for you, I have to tell you now, I'm the one that's ending this fight with the both of you. She, once again, like in the anime, pulls out the scissors blade. Because in this, she's never pulled it out, and we don't know that Nui is the one that killed Ishin. She pulls out the scissor blade, and she points it at the both of them. And she was like, you fool. And then we go back into that anime thing to where, Ryuko finds out that freaking Nui killed her father. So, Satsuki once again charges towards Nui. Slash, we're not dealing with you. We're gonna deal with Ryuko. So now we have a fight between Ryuko and Nui. In the battle you're supposed to win, but in the main story of things, you're supposed to really lose this fight. Nui slashes down Ryuko once again. The Elite Four try to step up, get beaten again. You all wake up, and at this point it's just repetitive. every time you get close to Nui, you get beaten, you get knocked out, and here you all are waking up together. This time, Ray, if y'all remember who that is, I don't remember her last name, but it's the one that's teamed with Raghia. She's working with Nui, and she made this thing to where Nui can broadcast her voice to these people on a little hologram-ish thing or something, and she's like, oh, you guys came so close, but you still failed. That's unfortunate, but I'm not gonna fail. In fact, I actually started my plan while you guys were taking a nap. Then it covers to a screen to where covers and freaking fake clones are attacking each part of the world and just destroying it. And Nui's like, if you really want to find me, good luck trying to find me. The screen cuts off. Ryuko's frustrated, she's depressed, she's just looking down at Senketsu like, I can't believe I fell for her tricks. I can't believe I worked with someone so evil. And then Satsuki walks up to her like, we have to get through this. We have to, beat her to get rid of her to save this world. And I forgot to mention, Nui points out that, Satsuki's her sister. So they're looking at each other like, okay, we just have to do this, get it over with. You go through a little more of the covers, I'm assuming, and then you get to Nui one more time. In order, I believe it'd be Satsuki trying to fight. Actually, no, I think it would be Ryuko. Ryuko would try to fight Nui. She'd fail. Then Satsuki would come in, dual wield now, because she wasn't dual wield in her story, but this is the perfect time to dual wield. You get to play Satsuki one more time, but you still lose. Then Rei once again shows up and she's like, Lady Nui, I know you're having fun, but allow me to just wrap this up for you. You have bigger things to worry about. And Nui's just like, fine, have your fun. I'm gonna go handle other things. Rei fights. Obviously, Rei loses, whether that be to any of the Elite Four, Ryuko or Satsuki. Ryuko just like, well, Nui, I defeated your best. I want to fight you again. Rei gets back up like, no way. You didn't get past me yet. And Nui just slashes her down like she did Raghia. And she's like, oh, you couldn't win. I don't have any more use for you. You did everything I need. The world is basically doomed anyway. Satsuki tells the Elite Four, go destroy all those covers and all those clones that you can find and muster, while Ryuko and I destroy Nui. You go once again into that fight with Nui, but this time it's more of like, it would be a fight for the first little bit, and then it would be a cutscene. It would be showing like Satsuki and Ryuko fighting Nui. Nui gets the scissor blade cut from her hand. If not, like Ryuko just slashes her arm off, and it conveniently is the arm with the scissor blade. Ryuko grabs the other scissor, and bam, dual wield Ryuko is now playable. Nui is at first pissed off, but then she just laughs it off like, you thought that was the only one. You remember all those clones we had? Boom, I had a clone too. Killed it, now I have its scissors blade. So, once again, fighting Nui, but now we have the dual wield. It's kind of easier, but it's still really, really, really hard for Ryuko. And then she gets pushed back from it. Nui's finally using all of her power one to wrap this up as soon as she can. And then dual Satsuki comes one more time. This is where Junketsu has to die. They fight. Nui slashes down Satsuki. And then she's like, well, it's finally time for me to finish you off so you won't be getting in my way anymore. There's two ways this could go. Either Junketsu would actually, surprisingly go out of his way to care for Satsuki, jump off like freaking Senketsu did for Ryuko, or Nui could conveniently just slash Satsuki but only kill Junketsu. So now Ryuko's pissed off. Her sister was just beaten. Now it's just her and Nui again, but Ryuko just can't get the job done. Once again, the famous Mako shows up and she's doing her little speech, but Nui's not having it. Nui's just already like, oh, I don't really have time for you. I don't even know you that much. So without further ado, you can die. And she either really hits Mako or she cuts her. Does not kill her, but she beats her. And that's it. That triggers Ryuko right there to go into her ultimate form, which I also forgot its name. And now we're here once again in the final battle. And yes, this would be really hard, but at the same time it would be understandable. So then it would be this really hard clash, and then at the end it had to be, you know, both of them tired. But Riko's coming to that like, I've beaten you. There's nothing you can do now. And then Nui's just, oh really? I'm sorry, sweetie, you're not gonna beat me. And then she once again does that petty decapitation, like, you're not gonna be the one that kills me, even though you've beaten me. But before she dies, she makes sure, with the last of her strength, her clone scissor blade, she chucks it. Ryuko loses her, you know, her ultimate form, and Senketsu just takes the scissor blade for her. Then we have that whole scene of, you know, Ryuko and Senketsu going down, but this time Senketsu is really wounded. So they crash back into Earth, because, yeah, it has to, this fight has to happen in space. You even see Nui crashing back down. Ryuko sees Satsuki, Satsuki's up, and the Elite Four are back. They handled everything, and Satsuki's like, you did good. And then it's just that weird ending that Mako comes and cheers everybody up. And then we get those credits, only to see a hand come out of a river from somewhere. It's Nui's hand, and she's like, you really thought this was over? You really believed that I was done? Not even close. I will be back. She comes out of the water and you see she's been really wounded from the fall and from getting beat up by Ryuko. And then you just see a shadow. And then that's the end of the story. And that wouldn't just be, you know, like cliffhanger. It could lead to, which possibly would never happen, but I would like for it to happen. It could lead to Kill la Kill If 2, it could lead to more characters being included, it could be all this stuff that could now be included to it, probably even an expansion to the story, which I wouldn't mind. It would be all this stuff that could be added just from that. We could now have a new fight at the end, we could finally finish off Nui in the next one. So that would be my take. I know that's probably not what's gonna happen, but I wouldn't mind that. I think that would actually be a cool story. If you enjoyed this video, like. If you're new, subscribe. Yes, when Kill la Kill If comes out, I promise you guys, we're gonna have nothing but content on the channel. If you're already new, make sure to check back on the channel and see all the Kill la Kill If stuff we got just from the demo. So imagine what we're gonna really get when the game comes out, and imagine what I'm really gonna do for you guys. There's so many ideas. I have so much stuff I have planned out. But until then, see you all next time.